Welcome back to TMS here on ETV. It is a Tuesday, and that means we are chatting to our African spiritual advisor, CM Kize. He is back with us. We're talking about food in the context of your traditional ceremonies and their role that food plays. So we spoke a lot about the meat as well, and the different parts of meats, and who can eat what, which part of the meat or of the cow or whatever animal that you've slaughtered are important. So yeah, let's continue with our conversation. One of the other things esiyenzayo uma sinomsebenzi kuba umqombothi.
Yes.
So that is a process eqala right before as well. It's like a 3-day, 4-day process depending. Ubani ovumelekile ukuthi ezonenzela umqombothi ekhaya when you are preparing for umsebenzi?
So umqombothi should be brewed only by a family member. And if you don't know how to do it, find someone to teach you. Don't do the lazy thing of saying, okay, fine, we'll pay you to make it for us. There is spiritual significance behind wena as a family member, right? Because umqombothi is brewed by abantu besifazane, women in the family, right? Kurawundi, or wherever the case may be, ekhaya. There is spiritual significance behind nina. Izandla zenu, right, must be the ones to actually brew umqombothi, which is the Zulu beer, right?
And I've seen elders as well. Ngathi kuba ne process where you communicate with your ancestors during that process as well.
Exactly, because thina ekhaya umqombothi was always brewed ekitchen, right? Whereas the same place where the carcass would also lie. You see, so during that process of talking to your ancestors, and also umqombothi and the state of the beer, right, determines the purity of the home and how umsebenzi is going to go. If umqombothi doesn't come out right, or it's stale, or it's bitter, or it's off, then kukusho ukuthi anikwazi ukuqhubeka nomsebenzi. Kukhona enye inkinga that needs to be resolved before niqhubeka nomsebenzi. So a lot of the times people don't, because nowadays people don't teach other people how to brew utshwala anymore, okay? We don't actually have that process of utshwala being brewed anymore. So now people don't have how do I put it, a preliminary scan of umsamo to see what is going on before they actually go to umsebenzi. And then they execute umsebenzi, and then what happens is either the animal passes away, or inyama is not red, but it's brown, and it goes off quickly. If your meat is rotting quickly, if ilele msamo, there's something wrong.
Sure. And umqombothi wakho then assessa kanjani ukuthi you see la, because you'd hear abantu abadala bethi idlozi livumile. So how do you know ukuthi yabo mase kwenzeke kanje okusho kona ukuthi konke kuyakhanya konke kuhamba kahle?
Well, my mom would probably be the best person to answer this question. But lokho engibonile ngesikhathi engikhula, uyawubona umqombothi, first of all, it must overflow the bucket. The reason why we call it must overflow is because of the significance of abundance, of blessings, of wealth, and of prosperity. Umqombothi that doesn't overflow, right? Because umqombothi first you pack on the stove, then you put it down, and then you wrap it with a blanket, or anything warm. It must overflow. When it doesn't overflow, but it actually stays and it doesn't ferment correctly. That's the word, nalikam. Yes. Ferment. If there's no fermentation of the process, something is wrong. Kusho ukuthi idlozi alivumile because ukhuphuka alikhuphukanga idlozi because igwebu alikhuphukanga.
Right. And we did speak about getting voice notes from you at home. If you have any questions for CM Kize, let's listen to some of those voice notes, shall we?
Msasazi bengicela umbuze lapha kubawa xa usenza umsebenzi ubulela abantu abadala ngoba bekugcinile until waya ufika kwipension. Uxhela ntoni? Uyakwazi uxhela ibhokhwe nenkomo? If ibhokhwe uyixhele nini, then inkomo uyixhele nini? Nguthamsanqa Midrand, enkosi.
So Thamsanqa wants to know if you're thinking abaphansi because bekugcinile until you reach your pension years, what do you slaughter?
Okay, you slaughter that which is within your means. Yeah, well, if you can't do umsebenzi wenkomo, now you know you can do umsebenzi wenkomo, right? Then do umsebenzi wenkomo. If you can't, then do umsebenzi wembuzi. This, of course, is assuming your ancestors haven't shown you a particular dream with a particular animal. If you want to do umsebenzi and you've talked about doing umsebenzi to your family, and then you have a dream about inkomo that is brown or inkomo that is black, and when you give them a goat, then kuzoba nenkinga because sebekutshela already what they want from you when you're giving them something else.
Nayi le nkomo ebrown esikhuluma ngayo nampo malume laphana beyiphethe. Let's listen to another voice note.
Good morning show. I'd like to ask Kize, what ceremony does one need to do after loss of an unborn child? What is it that I need to do to cleanse?
Okay. So this is a lovely question because I get it all the time. The loss of an unborn child, there's abortion and there's miscarriages. There's a difference between the two, right? There are two potential goals that you need to do. Hence, I say two. If ingane isisu saphupho mota miscarriage, thathani imbuzi nyemsamo, nichaza ukuthi cha, bantu abadala nansi isisu saphupho wengane iyaphuphuma, sesiyamgeza kunelisiwe. Uthatha igazi inyongo umswane, you mix it together, and then nigeza emfuleni or ehlathini, or if you can't, as far away from the actual house as possible in the corner ejardini.
Yeah.
You can't eat that animal, but your family can eat that animal. Right. Very, very important. There's a second goat, which in most cases only takes place if you've aborted. Okay? So what happens is you do the first goat, yageza, but you're still seeing the child. Or you see the child more frequently in your dreams, and you think that the cleansing was unsuccessful. No, that's an indication that it was successful. Manje sebeyakutshela le ngane idinga igama and lidinga ukumbathiswa. So most times healers say go buy your the child baby clothes, okay, and then do a chicken and do ilad, right? What that child needs is with the stomach lining of leyo mbuzi, the second one. So the spiritual significance of umhlwehlwe is ukwembathisa. That's why when we do umemulo, sithatha umhlwehlwe of the cow, siwembathisa.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So the child does not walk around naked on the other side.
Sure. So we do hope that your questions have been answered. You can send more of those voice notes, or where can we find Kize so that you can actually ask him some of those questions? Where do we find him?
Okay, so for online sessions and spiritual advice and guidance, info@spiritanimals.co.za. And of course, on Twitter is the best place to get at me, where we're going to be talking more about these for like 3-4 hours on Twitter Spaces @CMKize.
So @CMKize is where you will find him if you want to be more interactive. That is on Twitter. Uzokhuluma nawe kuma spaces. Baribula spacey. So that is exactly what Sia will be doing. Sia, thank you so much for always bringing so much clarity to a lot of the things that we want to understand as Africans in terms of the things that we do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we take a short ad break here on TMS. Hlalanat.